Good afternoon. My name is Michael, and I believe that time is one of the most important parts of trading. And in the grand scheme of things, if you've ever heard the expression, the red-headed stepchild, right? The runt of the litter, the one that gets the least attention, but is probably, in every fairy tale at least, the most important. This tool, this method, I believe, is the Cinderella indicator. It is overlooked, but reality had royalty in its DNA. And so I understand that you have been through the rigmarole, that you have been living inside of a commercial dryer, bouncing around like a wallet full of dollars that these people just smell a mile away, that people have promised you the moon and everything in between, only to find out that their lagging, steaming pile of effluence, unsupported in any meaningful way, disappearing, no phone calls, no emails, the whole 9 yards. I've been there, I've done that, and we decided nearly 20 years ago to change and give people an option. We're going to look at signals today that have been available in the public domain for 3 or 4 days. Times that were published indelibly with proof, unchanging, directions that markets were expected to move at certain times. We're the only company who does that. And so, Megan, when we're looking at these signals, Lynn, I want you to remember that they've been around since before the market opened today. And ultimately, this is the question that I want to answer for you. It's a pretty big statement that I'm making. If time is the most important thing, and I can give you the times and the directions with a tool that you can own, and it works week after week, year after year for 16 years, if it acquires an excellent rating on Trustpilot from people sitting right where you're sitting right now, then this could be a really fun indicator. What is it? What is it? No more PowerPoints. Get out of here, PowerPoint. What is it that we're discussing here, actually? And in essence, here's our value offering. A few days ago, we published something to the interweb. And you'll see here below will be the market forecasts using our Warp tool for Wednesday and Thursday, March 19th and March 20th. It talks a little bit about how we're going to trade with those signals. We'll come back to that. But if you click on Thursday, March 20th, let's just open the first one at the top of the list, the E-mini S&P. You'll notice in the lower part of the chart that this information, every little blue and white and black and gray pixel, Graham, how long ago was that published? How long has this information been here? 4 days ago. 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago, which means all the information for Thursday was available since Monday. I'm going to say that again because sometimes you guys miss it. And I'm going to use a little answer key here too. When you see a white line in your former universe, that used to be green. I don't use green because green means go and red means stop. And I got enough psychological bugaboos where I don't need the colors influencing me. So in my universe, I change green to white. And when you see a blue line, that would normally in your Christmas tree trading land be red. And you can change these colors if you like Christmas better than blue and white. But this information, when will the market go up, when should the market go down, has been available since Monday. Now, I want you to imagine for a second how crazy that sounds. Imagine for a second, Megan, I say, listen, 4 days from now at 12 o'clock, your phone's going to ring and it's going to be your mom. And then 4 days from now, your phone's going to ring and at 1 o'clock, it's going to be the hospital looking for people to sign up for a blood drive. And 4 days from now, the door's going to knock and it's the UPS driver and he's going to have 3 packages for you. It's pretty crazy when you say that, especially with regards to the markets. But what we're doing differently here is looking somewhere I think we're not supposed to be peaking. You see, we go back thousands of bars in this indicator, and we're looking for places where the market is consistently falling and the market is consistently rising, because banks can't hide the times they do stuff. They can hide volume, they can spoof their orders, but when they go up and when they go down is something they don't want you looking at. Casinos don't want you counting cards, and just like casinos don't want you counting cards, banks don't want you looking at when they place their trades. They want you looking at price action. They want you looking at volume. They want you to look at trend lines. They want you to look at candle patterns. They want you to look at influencers who use acronyms for things like ICT and ABC and LMNOP. That's what they want you to look at. They don't want you to look at time. I know this because I have customers who used to work at banks as traders who've told me off the record. I always ask for permission and they always say no because they're afraid that this is true. Now, hang on. This could be a really short webinar because watch this. Ready? Let me blow this up. That's what she said. And we'll come here. 510, 645, 820, 835, 950, 1130, 1250. 835, 950, 1130, 1250. All of the times that were published 4 days ago, we've now caught up to them on the live chart. Right here. We caught up to them. 835, 950, 1130, 1250, 125, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Okay, ready? First things first. Let's look at the times where the thing we were expecting to happen actually happened. 8:35, it went down. 9:50, it went up. 11:30, it went down. At 12:50, it went up. Right here at 125, it went down. Right here at 2 o'clock, it went up. 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. And then at 3 o'clock, it went down. At 8:20, it finished where it started. And we're going to talk about 510 and 645 in a second. Another market we can look at, we're coming back to the ES because that's the one you junkies love to trade. Another market we can look at is Ethereum on a 5-minute chart. We're going to go the whole mashbuka today. We're going to look at everything. Thursday, all the way down here. Ethereum. Crypto is the new king. NinjaTrader was acquired by Kraken cryptocurrencies. The Kraken released the Kraken. And what I want you to see right here is that the Ethereum cryptocurrency had its times published, Megan, 4 days ago. So everywhere you see a blue line was expected selling, from 4 days ago, the guess was made. And then everywhere you see a white line was a signal from 4 days ago warning us that they're probably going to push up again. Ready? 515, 515, 425, 425, 620, 620, 720, 720. Can everybody see that the signals on the live chart 4 days later, Adriano, Anthony, the signals on the chart 4 days later are the times that were in the public record since Monday on a blockchain currency, the absolute most random, unpredictable thing in the world. Joseph, how's that possible? Because when I come back now and I look at the cryptocurrency, using the times that have been in the public record for 4 days, oh boy, does this not look random? Down at 345 is when the predictions started. Up at 425, and they did it again. Down at 515 all the way until 620. Down from 720 until 955. What was supposed to happen at 955 if they repeated the pattern? Right here, 955 until 1030 is a buying behavior pattern window. Whoa, do 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 do. Lo hicimos, we did it. 1030 is supposed to be what? On a random blockchain currency, whatever the heck it is, I don't know. I can't get a box of Ethereum anywhere. I asked at the store, they said they didn't have any. What was supposed to happen? 1030 to 1255, we anticipated another selling window based on what banks usually do. Do 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 do, all the way down. And guess what 1255 is? It's the low of the day. It's the low of the day. Guess what 1030 was? The high of the move. Guess what 620 and 955 were? They shot straight up. 515 shoots straight down. 425, they don't look back. And then you get to 155, it does not go down, and you just sort of have this sideways garbage. If you place a trade with any of those signals, you're pretty much at break even all the way. What's going on? What is happening? Because it did it on the euro dollar too. It did it on the euro currency futures today. This is the euro currency futures today. And it sure feels like down at 824, up at 848, down at 906, and it finishes higher at 1012, down from 1012 to 1045 until 1115. It sure feels like the people who trade the euro currency had a plan today. Up at 1145 until 1215, up at 148. What's going on? What's going on is what a dead guy told us we would see if we studied this. Now, I'm going to go on the record and say I am a better market technician than Gann was. I have a computer, I have a Starlink satellite dish, and a fiber optic internet cable. I am not drawing things with pencils and papers and quills made from goose feathers. But when you study time, whatever tools you have, Gann living in the 1900s, early 1909, 1910, when trading, he says this: time is the most important factor of all, and not until sufficient time has expired does any big move start, up or down. He says, time is the most important factor in determining trades. By studying the past records of the individual markets you're trading, you will be able to prove for yourself that history does repeat, and that by knowing the past, you can tell the future. All this tool is doing is studying the past records of the euro currency futures. It's studying the past records of the Ethereum futures on a 5-minute chart. It's studying the past records of the E-mini S&P 5-minute chart, and it's projecting into the future what is expected next. Look where those times you saw me look at came from. They were born from the womb of historical data. And this is what trips up so many of you. You're like, I don't understand. Why are they doing the same thing over and over again? That can't be possible. And here we are. And here we are. So tomorrow, I already have the times for tonight, tomorrow morning, all the way through until lunchtime. 9:55, sell. 10:25, buy. 11:50, sell. 12:10, buy. Well, how far in the future can we see? I'm so glad you asked. Look, 21st, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th. I can see 7 days in the future using the tool you have access to. Which means, how long, Megan, have I been waiting for these signals? How old are these predictions really if I can see them a week in the future? Here's where your noodle's gonna really bake. I've been waiting 7 days for 9:50. I've been waiting 7 days for 8:35. I've been waiting 7 days for 11:30, 12:50, and 1:25. I've been waiting 7 days for 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. What's happening here? What's happening here is these guys have a plan. I'm going to show you how you can trade with these in a second. Let me show you that the time frame or the market doesn't matter. This is gold futures. And I had a feeling we'd see prices rise when Costco started selling 1-ounce bars. You could get a 40-gallon jug of Skippy peanut butter and a 1-ounce bar, a 1-ounce gold bar. Let's get a palm tree, that 40-gallon container of peanut butter, 3,500 rolls of toilet paper, and a gold bar. That'll be $58,000. But you have rewards points now. Everywhere you see a white line on here was a day on a daily chart that we were expecting the price of gold to rise. And everywhere you see a blue line is a day that we were expecting the price of gold to fall for a while. December 12th, November 5th, October 3rd, and August 26th. Yeah. When is this move in gold, Megan, expected to stop and maybe go down? Friday. Friday. How far in the future can we see these daily signals in gold? Ready? As soon as my cursor catches up. That's July. That's all spring and all summer. Why do we care about July? Because these signals were available that far in the future before. This is November of 2025. What are we expecting gold to do November of 2025? Drop. or go sideways. What are we expecting gold to do before Halloween? Go up. Until when? The 12th of November. Why? Because of what it's almost always doing at those predictions. So here we go. Ready? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. That means these signals have been available for 8 months. Which is funny because I've been showing you these signals regularly now since October. So you've seen these signals in the webinars since October. So if it's possible to know these times with a reasonable accuracy, why aren't more people using it? I honestly don't have the answer for that. Our website statistics show that about 15% of people who hear this, 25% of people in webinars actually move forward, despite what I'm about to show you right now. Okay, ready? Oh. There are 3 setups that I want to teach you today that I taught you last week that were available on the histogram page that I told you we would be looking for when we measured the results of the system. Ready? Here we go. One is called a signal with trend. And for the trend today, we're using a 120 period EMA. The other is called a puncture. And the third is called an aggressive counter trend trade, ACT. Here's how a signal with trend is going to work. There are 2 variations of it. Number 1, if you have a buy signal and you are above the moving average, your stop is going to be, 1.5 average true range values away. 1.5 ATR values is your stop. You're going to enter on the close of the candle. You can hold it until the next signal in the opposite direction. If you get to a point, however, where the candle closes below the moving average, you exit. So I'll put a note here. Close above or below, we're going to exit. So this mitigates a full stop, possibly. The second variation is called a crossover in the video. Let's say you have a selling signal here and it's above the moving average and it closes below the moving average. It is now in the direction of the trend. Put your stop above that candle. Here's your entry. And now you can hold it until the next buying signal. Okay? If by chance it closes above the moving average, that's an exit. The stop, the trade ends. Signals with trend. Number 2, puncture. If you are in an uptrend and you arrive at a sell signal and your stop is 1.5 ATR values away and that candle continues to climb and it goes through the stop, we're going to enter with a buy stop just on the other side of that stop line, and our stop is going to be here. So we're entering like a breakout failure of the signal. If it continues to rise and the trend is going up and there's a sell signal and nobody is selling, we have a clear lane. We're free to land. And the people who normally sold here stepped in and said, not today. So when it fails, we enter, and now we can hold it until the next signal. So in the case of a downtrend, if you have a buy signal and there's a stop there, and the candle goes through the stop of the buy signal, there are no buyers here. So I can enter just below the stop line. My stop is just above the candle which punctured the stop line. And now I can hold it all the way until the next timing window. The aggressive counter trend happens right before a possible puncture. So let's say we're moving up and we have a sell signal right here. Let's say there's a little wick right there. I'm going to put my stop 2 ticks above the wick, and I'm going to enter on the close of the candle. Ideally, you want to try to get on an aggressive counter trend a 1-to-1 risk-reward trade. If you're risking 10 ticks, you want to take 10 ticks. If you're risking 30 ticks, you want to make 30 ticks. Okay? If there is, say here's your stop right here, and there's some kind of market structure right before you got there, we're going to look left. And as long as the structure is lower than the existing stop, that's where we're going to put our stop. But if we're up here in the middle of nowhere and that's the highest candle, that's where we go short. So an aggressive counter trend, if it fails and keeps going up, can turn into a puncture. 1, 2, 3. You can also hold your aggressive counter trend until it becomes a crossover, and now it's a signal with trend. Let me show you. Ready? We had times on the ES from 510 forward. Let me turn this off. At 510, it's a signal with trend. Signal with trend. Boom. This is not the only way to trade with these times, but they're the easiest way that I have found since I started doing this to train people who have no idea what they're doing. Right here, signal with trend, I enter on the close of the candle. I get out when the candle closes below the moving average. So we're going to count these up. Ready? Enter, exit, -3. Let me increase the font size so you can see from home what we're doing. We'll go 22 ticks, reload. Wait for this to catch up. So once it closes below the moving average, what am I open for? I go from a signal with trend to a puncture. My sell stop is 1 tick underneath this line. This was a buy. What was it supposed to do? It was supposed to go up. What happens, or what are you thinking when it doesn't go up at a time that it's normally supposed to go up? So for me, the example I give is UPS. Amazon Prime, Jeff Bezos promises it's going to be there tomorrow. It's going to be there tomorrow, Michael. Well, UPS delivers to my house 10:30. I live out in the sticks. So if I'm standing on my porch at 10:45, if I'm standing on my porch at 10:50, UPS is not coming to my house. And Bezos lied to get me to buy that thing. All right, what are we doing here, E-mini S&P? Stand by. I had a contingency plan. I did have a contingency plan. Once it closed below the moving average, first loss, boom, I lose 3.25. It goes through the line. I'm short until when? Failure of a buy signal with trend. Failure of a buy signal with trend. I'm out at the next signal. That's plus $57.50. Signal with trend at 6:45, it hits the stop. We give 17 of it back. Aggressive counter trend, my stop is here. It hits the stop, -2. Signal with trend from 8:35, how far does it go in our direction? It goes $1,000 in our direction. I have a $500 break-even rule. This trade breaks even. $9.50, aggressive counter trend trade. Stop goes below the candle. Entry is the close of the candle. It is below the moving average. I can't use this full stop. Entry at the close of the candle. Exit at the next signal, plus 36. Aggressive counter trend trade. Look left. What's left? There is a prior swing right there. Where's the actual stop? Right here. This is lower than this. I'm short at 57.49. Watch the transformation. Short, 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 short. Close below the moving average. Crossover trade. I get to trail my stop now down above the candle, which closes below the moving average. When am I going to exit this? I'm going to exit it right here at 12.50. Well, how many clamshells is that? How many smackaroos is that trade? Right here. It's $32. Aggressive counter trend trade. Stop goes 2 ticks below the low. 1, 2. Never hits it until we get to 125 and I exit. $8. Signal with trend. I wait for the close. The close is at 7:15. I have to get out at 2 o'clock. $5.50. Aggressive counter trend trade. Where's my structure? Look left. There it is. It hits the stop. Womp womp. Yes, I'm showing you there were stop outs. There were actual stop outs and losses. Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. Signal with trend at 3 o'clock, exited 3:55, -13. And that's where I'm at. 57, 87, 93, 123, 125, 133, 138, 136, 129, 126, 116, 199, minus 10 is 89, $86. $86 of movement times $50 per contract. 8 times 5, it's north of $4,000 per contract, full size, or $400 per micro. Does anyone have any questions about that? Does anyone have any questions about that? There are no other indicators on this chart except a moving average. When we look at what actually happened 2 days later, we had a very simple plan based on trend entries. Look at the signals in Ethereum in that same span of time. Start whenever you want. 345 until 425 minus 15. 425 until 615, 377. 615 until 620, $35. 620, look left, it hits the stop. Womp womp, sad. Signal with trend at 720. We survive, barely. Signal with trend, aggressive counter trend, hits the stop. Womp womp. Aggressive counter trend at 1030 turns into a crossover trade, turns into a winner, $50. Aggressive counter trend trade turns into a winner, $8. 135, hang on, hang on. 210, we lose 5. 210 doesn't hit the stop. We exit at the open of the candle, 3 o'clock plus 3. 3 o'clock signal with a trend, net loss. And now we're right here at the close of the market. What I want you to think about and why people buy this program, why we made this program, is because you know in advance when the moves are coming. You know in advance when the moves are coming. Yesterday was FOMC day. This is Ethereum. I don't care if you trade Ethereum or you don't trade Ethereum. What should really wet your noodle here is the fact that yesterday I gave the world the times we were watching for Ethereum. And when it says from 6:35 until 8 o'clock, right here, look, there it is. 6:35 until 8 o'clock. Watch. 420 until 450, exit plus 7.9. Counter trend trade, stop 2 ticks above the high, you finish where you start, 0.88. Counter trend trade, you lose 3. Puncture, exit 635 plus 31. Signal with trend, exit 8 o'clock, $44. Look left, aggressive counter trend, structure right here. If we get over $500, what do? We go to break even. That one goes $31 straight down. We finish break even on that trade. If you don't lock in any profit, I'll make this closer to break even so it makes more sense. Yeah. Signal with trend at 10:55 yesterday until lunchtime, $14. What should really get you crazy is that this was FOMC day. What's going on? That was a big day, right? And then if I go back to yesterday, this was yesterday's E-mini S&P signals. Let me turn off my live trade here. There we go. These were the signals that we published for yesterday in advance on the most popularly traded market in futures. Ready? Wednesday, E-mini S&P 5-minute chart. How long ago was the software publishing these times for us? 4 days ago. I want you to see that I have gone miles above and beyond for transparency. 9:30, 9:30, 10:10, 10:10, 11:30, 11:30, 8:35, 8:35. There is a 100% match between what was published 4 days ago, 3 days before yesterday, on FOMC Day. Foxtrot, Oscar, Mike, Charlie. Bad news day. There's no way to predict what markets will do on FOMC Day, they said. And yet here we are. Ready? Signal with trend, 9:30. Exit when it closes below the moving average, -9. Candle closes above the moving average, crossover trade, exit 10:10, +20. 10:10, aggressive counter trend trade, stop above the high. We sold this yesterday in the class, remember? Exit by when? 11:30. I have to actually exit by the open of the candle, like so. If you look in my documented trades here from yesterday, I don't know if this was the same one. It's one of these. Was it this one? Yeah, that's the one we took yesterday. It was up over $1,000 yesterday in the class we taught in our advanced training room. We took 9 out if you stay there. Signal with trend on FOMC Day. Exit at 12.55 +$9. Short signal is counter trend, stop just above the high. It literally goes straight down, +$12. Signal with trend, candle closes below the moving average, -8. Signal with trend, candle closes above the moving average, -7. Crossover, candle closes back up here, hits our stop, -7. 205. What are they announcing at 205? Come on. What are they announcing? Federal interest rates. Michael, there's no way to know what the market's going to do 3 days before they announce the federal interest rates. How does this trade with news? You can't possibly know in advance. Close above the moving average at 205. Exit at 245, +25.75. Puncture trade. How high does it go? Ready? 51.61. That's +$500. Oh, break even. You get nothing like it. If you felt adventurous, we gave you the times for 440, 420. It's another $7. Guys, come on now. Come on now. 29, 38, 46, 56, 76, 82, 82 minus 8, 74, 67, 57, let's call it 50. So it was plus $50 per contract equals $2,500 hypothetical, theoretical dollars, full size, or $250 per micro from 9:30 to the close. What's going on? If we're able to see $2,000 and $3,000 and $4,000 today in just one trade, you're waiting for the right time. It goes a maximum of $2,500 before it theoretically peters off at $1,500. All of the settings, Jill? No, it's a good question. All of the settings in my webinar for all of the intraday charts are always the same and have been and will always be. 7, 14, 0, 0 calendar days, swing strength 8, 6, 7, 8. Every chart on my chart workspace for as long as Warp existed, 7, 14, swing strength 8. I never change the settings so we don't get into the curve fit weeds. Okay. And again, oh no, John, absolutely. I wanted to cover this because so many people said, I don't know, I lost money with your signals this week. It's impossible. It's impossible. Here, I'll even take a screenshot if you don't have screenshot software, and I'll give you the link. I don't know why I was very angry and almost yelling just now. And go back. This video will be up on our YouTube channel. Let me send a link here. Can you see this in the chat box, everybody? Yeah. Yeah. And so when we start looking at other markets like the NASDAQ, everyone trades the NASDAQ, right? It's the one you can't say no to. It's like the French fries of markets. You don't want to admit you eat them, but when they trounce out a basket of French fries, Drill, you're like, I'll just have one. I'll just place one trade in the NASDAQ. Well, what's been going on in the NASDAQ? Holy poop burgers here. If you look at these signals in the NQ, what happens if you were sold at the sell times and bought at the buy times? What happens if you bought at 10:01 and you hung on until 10:24? It's a $94 move. We were in that this morning. And of course, you're going to have losers, right? There were 3 in a row on the buy side. But you also had a puncture here. You had a signal with trend here. You had a signal with trend here. Right? And now this afternoon, it's still doing it. It's still, the NQ can't stop. It's still doing it at 213. If you came in the afternoon and said, I'll trade it, it came all the way down to the exact low, $95. And if you did an aggressive counter trend trade at 232, it came all the way back up and you got 56. And then it closed above the moving average and you lost 10. Womp womp. So these markets, yeah, we can look at the Dow. I think it was the 3-minute signals we were watching. Ninja is not liking me changing charts right now, so we may have reached the limit of its tolerance for me. What I can show you is that we also have a version of this for Kronos, for TradingView. I want you to look because this is a ridiculous instrument called Trump coin. This is, I can't believe I have to even say that word out loud, but here we are. Jill, with TradingView, look, what happens at the sell signals in Trump coin? What happens at the buy signals for Trump coin? This is on an hourly chart, by the way. Yeah, it's doing the same stuff. If we load gold futures, what happens at the predictive buy signals in gold? What happens at the predictive sell signals in gold? In TradingView, no less. And so now it's the same thing. Enter at the close, exit at the counter trend signal. Enter at the close, exit at the counter trend signal. Enter, exit, enter, stop out. When's our next signal? 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And there's a sell signal over here. There's your puncture, goes through, comes back and hits your stop. There's your puncture, goes through, comes back and hits your stop. So E-mini S&P, TradingView, if you don't like NinjaTrader and you're like, I don't want to use it. Okay. There's the hourly chart on the E-mini S&P. Here are the future buy times. Here are the future sell times. Change your time frame if you want from a 1 hour to a 5 minute. As simple as changing that value, you get your new chart set up. And now you're seeing future selling time, future buying time, future selling time. I changed it all to red and green so you wouldn't yell at me for the blue and white anymore, right? If you trade forex, euro, US dollar, do the same thing. The banks are trading at these times. You can know these times. It was $2,500 potentially yesterday, $3,000-$4,000 today in the ES. And while you're sitting there fretting and wondering, what's it going to do? What's it going to do? It's so volatile. Some dude at JP Morgan who drives a Bentley is pushing a button right on schedule. Yeah, right? If you're an options trader, you love to have puts with Tesla, you love to look for buys and sells and calls, there's Tesla on a 5-minute chart. Give it a shot. That's probably too small. That's what she said. 15-minute chart. Yeah, that's a little higher time frame. There's Tesla on a 15-minute chart. One piece of advice, look through some of the time frames on the market, on the instrument you're trading. See which one is locked in. Look at a 3, look at a 5, look at a 15. One of those is going to be like, look at me, I'm beautiful. You are beautiful. 15-minute Tesla chart. You're very beautiful. Okay. Yeah, it didn't like when we asked it to look at a different, it didn't like it when we asked it to look at a different market. I'm going to try one more thing here, which may be a mistake, but if not, I'll get that ready in the meantime. 125 years ago, Gann says, hey, here's the secret sauce. You want to know how I did it? Look at what the markets are doing historically, find the patterns, project them forward. You will be able to prove for yourself that history does repeat. And when we come back and look at those times historically, and then we look at what happened after the fact, it is bananarama. It is ridiculous. Banks can't hide time. They can hide everything else. This is crude futures on a 15-minute chart. They can hide everything else. They get away with it every year. No one goes to jail. And if you're sitting here and you see a signal in the direction of the trend, you know how long it's expected to last. You know you can have a small stop because it either comes to the porch now or it's tomorrow, and you know the direction of the trade. No one else can offer you that because every other person's stuff is stupid. And I'll say it to their face. Your stuff is stupid. You know how I know we are the best? Because we attract the best customers. And some of you are here today, and I want to thank you for posting your reviews. We have a 4.7. It would be higher except for Alberto, who left a 1-star review. Thanks, Alberto. De nada. And so when you come through here and read these reviews, Jill is here today. Jill is amazeballs. Thank you, Jill. Robert, this is 6 days ago. I sold the software to Robert. He got the TradingView version. Robert sends me screenshots of profitable trades. He can't believe it. Lee is here today. Lee, thank you for your review. One of the oldest reviews from one of our first customers, Mr. Schatzman. He loves it. Earl's catchphrase, it just works. And so as you scroll down, you'll see other people sat exactly where you're sitting, and they said, I bought all the other dumb stuff, and it was stupid. And then I got this stuff, and it was awesome. I may be paraphrasing there, but you get the point. Where do you go from here? Michael, I want it. Stop talking and tell me where to go. The website is Back to the Future Trading, like Marty McFly and Doc and all those people.com. And you're going to go to Trading Tools. We are sci-fi nerds. There are no shenanigans at this company. Thank you, Earl. So I love this picture. I modified it. It is the ship from Interstellar piercing the black hole Gargantua. And if you remember that movie, they couldn't solve the problem until they got the data out of the quantum part of this donut. And that's what Warp is doing. It's looking into the dark heart of the historical data and telling us where the patterns in time are. So if you're interested in the NinjaTrader variation of this, I'm going to paste the link into your chat box right now. Make sure you got it. There you go. And down at the bottom of this web page, this brand new website that we lost years of our life building for you. There are 2 ways to get started with Warp. One includes a live training room. I teach a class 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock Eastern, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think it's the most underutilized resource that we have. Right now, there's about 15 people in there who I love and appreciate, but I wish there were more, because the things that I'm teaching you here today, you can learn in a month's time in a live environment and see for yourself. By the way, if you remember when we closed the room, I was short in the NQ. Earl, that trade went up about $4,500 before I couldn't take it anymore and I closed it. We have a $200 a day daily goal. The room costs $200 a month. You can add that with your plan. If you don't want that, you're like, I like to trade alone. That's fine. Click on the X where the purchase agreement comes up, and there's a promo code WARPOFF, lowercase, no spaces, WARPOFF, WARPOFF. When you hit apply, it takes $500 off the price. If you add the other thing to the cart with the class, it'll take that off as well. So that is how you get Warp. It's 2 computer licenses for NinjaTrader, now acquired by the Kraken, your cryptocurrency trading source for all things crypto. Kraken. It'll be interesting, for sure. Lifetime updates. There's a computer training area with videos, basic training videos, as well as more advanced stuff. We have a Skype room for customers now. There's close to 400 people in that community. And so people that are in here that are trading, they're sharing what they're doing, what their signals are, what their setups are. If you want to be a part of that community, that's free. We're moving to Discord because Skype is going offline in May. So I have about a month and 10 days. We're going to move everybody over to the Discord. But this is kind of neat. You have 354 people in here that you can meet. Pass my funded evaluation today with Apex. Mateo wants everyone to see what he's using for his entries, long and short. So that community was important to me because I wanted traders to interact with other traders. Lifetime license, no additional fees or charges, and if you change your computer in the future, no big deal. Now, if you want Kronos, we're trying to build an audience with the TradingView people. I don't know if you heard, but NinjaTrader was acquired by Kraken. And so TradingView has close to 4 million users a day. If you're using TradingView and you want to get this tool, we want you to have it. It's only $249 a month. If you add my live class, it's $449 a month. You saw today examples of setups that were in the thousands of dollars with just one signal. So Kronos, you'll be able to have that log in to your TradingView account. You can use your live or your delayed data chart. If you have another platform, we had a customer buy and he uses TradeStation. And so this is a great opportunity to act as a translator. If you have TradeStation, for example, you can open a free TradingView account, load Kronos, and see those times in the future, right? You can see the times in the future. Even with delayed data, it won't matter because they're hours into the future. So Kronos with TradingView is a great universal option for people. There's no cost to get started with it, and you can get your advanced signals. So if you were looking at a longer chart, here's crude oil futures, for example. If you were trading that on a 1 hour time frame, I don't know, you trade options, you can see the next signals 4 a.m., 7 p.m., 7 a.m. They're way out in the future where the delayed data wouldn't matter. So Kronos for TradingView, a really great way to just try it for a month or two and see if it doesn't give you the results that other people have had. Megan, say Heikin-Ashi candles to me one more time. Say Heikin-Ashi candles to me one more time. I will throw you off this bus and you will walk home. I don't know, try it. Yeah, you say it. All right. All right. I see what this relationship is going to be like. I'm married to Cuban. You don't scare me. Brad, we'll make an announcement. Our web host developer, our website maintenance company and builder is setting up the Discord right now, building out the different rooms and areas. We're going to make a huge announcement via email, and I'll start mentioning it here. Give me a couple weeks, probably 2 or 3 weeks, so it's all set up. And then we'll start migrating everybody over there. I have no idea what Discord is. My son watches it when he plays video games and yells really loudly when he wins. My software will never be on Meta stock. It took me 15 years to get it to TradingView, and I did that because it's incredibly explosive and stable. It will never appear on MetaTrader or Sierra Charts or any of those weird platforms. For many reasons, a lot of those platforms don't allow predictive signals. A lot of platforms don't allow predictive signals. That's a true story. You can't put signals on the right-hand side of the chart. So, fun fact. Yeah. I wish we could put it on every platform, but every programming universe is different. And so right now all of our eggs were in the NinjaTrader basket, formerly NinjaTrader, now Kraken, your source for cryptocurrency trades. And now we've got a couple toes over in the TradingView universe. So if we ever do, I'll let you know. But right now, there's no plans to migrate. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I just sound like a jerk right now. You don't see it because you never entertained the possibility that this is real. And that's what banks want you to know. Try counting cards at a casino, by the way. I watch a guy on YouTube who counts cards. He has a hidden camera in his shirt. And you can see right around the time that he figures out there are lots of tens and queens and jacks in the deck, they come over and they ask him to leave. But if you look at everybody else in the room, nobody's paying attention. Everybody's just having fun placing bets. And this kid, he's in his 20s. He's like, all right, at this point, the deck is a +2. So I increase my bet size from $5 to $100. And this big guy named Saul comes over and says, excuse me, sir, we no longer need your business here in this casino. Banks don't want you to see the patterns in the chaos. Brokers don't want you to see the patterns in the chaos. Funded account places don't want you to see it. People with lagging indicators and mentoring courses don't want you to see it. All of these people want you suckling at their industrial teat forever. You'll always need me. I hope you learn how to use this like those other people did, and you never need me again, and you teach it to other people. That's where I'm at. Customers are teaching other customers, and for me, that's a dream come true. Any questions before we wrap up? You've been a great audience. You've withstood the Shekinah glory of my ego. We saw some pretty awesome charts today at the times we gave out 4 days ago. Some pretty great results. We went over some pretty simple ways to trade those signals. We saw opportunities with either NinjaTrader or TradingView to get started for pennies a month. What is that? 250 divided by 4. It's like $60 a week or $10 a day. That's one ES tick a day. Okay. I will show you a puncture example one last time, Megan, and then no more because you bother me. I don't know. Let's show it on TradingView. All right, that's a good opportunity. Right here. Megan, right here, I'm not sighing for you. I'm sighing because I'm tired. Aggressive counter trend trade. I'm looking for it to go up. It fails. Stop. I have a sell stop right here under this white candle. I'm expecting the buyers to do this, right, Megan? This is what I want them to do. Just like I was expecting the sellers to go down, and they did. The buyers here were like, and nothing happened. It went sideways. I call this a black banana. It's just rotting on the countertop, not doing anything. And then it starts to go down, like, oh, hey, we're supposed to be buying now. Guys, come on, seriously, stop scrolling around. And this is a failure with trend. The trend is down. It is down. So this is an entry point for you just below that line. Your stop goes over this candle. 100% of your risk is here, you can get out. 200% of your risk is here, you can get out. By the time you get over here, you should be at least break even. Signal with trend at 245. Whee! Again, if you do what we do in the class, I look at what the risk is. I go to break even at 100% of my risk, and then I take profit at 200% of my risk. So whatever this is, I go to break even at that distance, and I exit at 2 times what I was willing to risk. Or you can hold it till the next signal. I find this way to be easier because most of your trades are kind of finishing up around 2 to 1, and that's good. Let me show you one more example of that. We'll scoot over here. This is ES on a 1-minute chart. There we go. Megan, this one was a double header. Watch. Buying signal, the trend is down. And then poof, it goes through that line. My stop is above this candle. It takes out my stop. And then second time, hammers right through it, like sticking your finger through a piece of saran wrap. And now I'm short until 132. My stop goes above the candle that punctured the white line. Does that make sense? It's a failure of the signal with trend. Over here at 10:55, yeah, this isn't easy for some people. I understand it's a little confusing. What are people normally doing at 10:55? Normally they're selling, so I expect it to go sideways or go down. It doesn't. They're like, let's sell it. Guys, where's everybody? Hey, are you selling? Why? Put that buy order down. Stop it. No, no, we're supposed to be selling right now. No, don't do it. Ah! That's a puncture right here. It is a failure of a sell signal with trend. If there are no sellers here and the trend is up, it's clear. All clear. Come on, guys, let's go. How much time do we have? Until 11:03. All right, let's do this. Insert Ocean's 11 music right here, whatever that is. George Clooney and Brad Pitt. Stealing ticks. All right. I love you guys. I applaud you for being on a quest, on a search for something real, something that can't be faked, taught by an obvious genius, albeit egotistical, genius nonetheless. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine upon your SPF covered faces. Be careful. You can get cancer if you're in the sun too long. May the valleys rise up to meet you. May the mountains lay low before you on your journey. I am for you. I am on your side. I believe you can do this. I met one guy last week. I don't think he can do it. I met one guy last week. I'll be amazed if he can do it. Dude, man, gambles like a blue-haired grandma at Atlantic City. I'm working on it, but I don't have a lot of hope for him. The rest of you, though, keep at it, keep pushing, keep striving. If you're here, you're learning. If you're learning, you're closer. Don't stop. Don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to the naysayers. Keep going. Get in a community like ours or one like it. Listen to what other people are doing. Surround yourself with success. I know that you can do this. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for checking out our webinar. I appreciate all of you. Remember, the market you trade is not random, whether it's with TradingView or with NinjaTrader. You can see up to 7 days in the future intraday, weeks and months into the future on daily and weekly charts, what they've got planned potentially for the market moves. If you have reasonable risk reward, you have the potential to earn a lot of money. You can lose a lot of it too. Trading has risks, right? but today seems to point in the other direction. Take care. I love you. I'll see you guys later. Have a great one. Bye-bye.